Henry. I'm Jonathan Coachman. This is the NFL on EA Sports. Coming up, the big man, Derrick Henry, fresh off a big game a week ago, as it'll be the Houston Texans taking on the Tennessee Titans. I'll be back with you again with scores around the league at halftime. But kickoff right around the corner. And standing by to call the action, here are Brandon Gaudin and Charles Davis.
The losers their last. It's the final 3 weeks of the season. Still plenty to play for here as we're underway in Week 15. This fielded at the 2. And not a bad return here. He gets it out to the 25-yard line. The fifth-year quarterback, Marcus Mariota, ready to lead the Titans. Mariota still looking for his first 16-game season. He did pack on a few pounds in the offseason this year. Said he hopes to add a little durability and stay healthy throughout. This is Dion Lewis now in his 9th NFL season. The game's first play produces 6 yards, brings up second down.
Despite the blitz, they're still able to pick up a nice solid gain. The disadvantage of blitzing often alters the normal spacing and run fits and leaves creases like they were able to exploit right there.
Now a first-time 1,000-yard rusher from a season ago, it's Derrick Henry. And forget about finding a lane. He barely had time to look up before he was planted in the backfield.
And the big fella stuffed that one up in a big way. I think doubling him has to be a priority because you can't move up to the next level if you don't take care of him first.
Throwing is Mariota. And they get to Mariota here as he's dropped on the sack. Whitney merciless. Make that now 8 sacks for him on the season.
It always helps for a visiting team to come in and set the tone on defense. In fact, when we talked with them prior to the game, they said they wanted this home crowd to feel like they had to hide their valuables when they were in town.
Well, the home crowd quiet now early. See if their offense can take over and get some points on the board. Good blocking there, nearly sprung him. As it is, it'll go as a 19-yard return. And the Texans will take over with a 1st and 10. Good starting field position for the Houston Texans here as they come up 1st and 10 at the 40. Now a first-time Pro Bowler from a year ago, Lamar Miller. The tackle was by the Boston College product, Harold Landry.
I call that play a success. A nice inside run sets up a very manageable second down, a very solid gain on that play.
From the 44, Watson, and that'll be incomplete. Good protection that time, and they couldn't hook up on the long one. Now it's 3rd down.
Well, he kind of forced that one there, didn't he? It's almost like he predetermined where he was going to go with the football.
Yeah, he wasn't really going through progressions. He wanted to go to his top guy. You do that against this defense, they'll make you pay, won't they?
Yeah, they certainly will. They react very quickly to the thrown football. I think it all came together there. In-breaking route, drove it with excellent pace. Money throw right there to move the sticks.
They'll run for the first time with Johnson. And that play goes nowhere. Taken down, losing yardage at the 50, right at midfield. It'll wind up being a loss of 2. And that'll make it 2nd and 12. From the 50, it's Watson. It's complete. Stills. The reception good for 7. It's 3rd down.
Well, that's what you're looking for when you're wanting to throw the ball downfield. You want one of those guys who can play out on the perimeter, can play out wide, who can not only get open, but when they're covered, can uncover themselves downfield and create catches.
Now a 3rd down throw, but it misses the target, incomplete. You can tell they were hoping for a flag there offensively. Several on the sideline motioning, hey, why not a penalty? Why not a penalty? What did you see?
Yeah, I think you've got to let them play, and the officials are instructed. If there's contact coming from both sides, no flag. Let them fight it out.
And forces 4th down. And this ball's going to be down now right at the 10-yard line. Good spot. So they'll play the field position game here as a very nice punt is going to pin them back.
Yeah, it's almost like watching a game of tennis, or do you prefer ping pong? You know, back and forth like that? That definitely was excellent, wasn't it?
They'll start on the ground. It's Derrick Henry. And he'll take this one only up to about his 13-yard line. Justin Reed, the safety, made the tackle.
They tried a quick hitter inside, but that one was swallowed up because when they're hoping, those big defensive linemen will take the bait and move laterally and open up a crease that they can run through. Didn't happen on that play.
Now a toss left side into the hands of his tight end. And they'll bring him down right around the 13. They follow up the gain of 2 with a gain of 1 that time. On the defensive side here, the starters for the Texans. They come in a top 10 unit against the pass, currently 8th in the NFL.
Yeah, defending the pass hasn't been an issue for them. It's been stopping the run. And if they don't stop the run, they can't get back to their strength, which is guarding against the air attack.
That burst good for 20 and a first down. Now, look, that wasn't a huge gain, but those are the types of carries I think they were missing in their loss last week. They couldn't get him going on the ground.
Did you get the same feeling I did during our meetings, that they kind of regretted that he didn't touch the ball?
Absolutely.
You know, hey, he should have touched it more last week. They weren't going to make that same mistake, and they've taken care of that early.
And now a throw on first down there, but it's incomplete. One of his main targets, Delaney Walker, the intended receiver. And now it's second down. And this passing game's whole offense really didn't show up in the loss last week, and it hasn't started all that great here either.
Yeah, and they can't let that incompletion become an uh-oh moment. Like, oh boy, here we go again, just like last week. Each game is its own entity, treated as such.
That'll be a loss of 4 yards on the play. And that'll force upon them a 3rd and 14. Third and long here for Mariota. And that will be incomplete.
They went with the dime look that time on defense, just flooded the field with defensive backs, blanketed everyone, took away all the passing angles, thus the incompletion.
And this is away. It's a high kick, and he got all of it. On the return, Carter. 21 yards. Well done on the return. And that will come the offense as they take over. The Texans offense ready to go here for their next drive. They punted last time they had it. What steps, Charles, do you think they have to take to make sure they don't do that again?
Well, let's just go to the football 101, the trade expression 101. Win first down. Make 5, 6, 7 yards on first down and make it a 2nd and 3, 2nd and manageable. Keep accumulating first downs that way. Keep moving the football. You don't want to get behind the sticks because then the defense has the advantage.
Looking to throw on second down. Watson, he's got Fuller. 6 yards is the pickup, and that'll lead to a 3rd down.
In so many ways, throwing the hitch route is actually one of the safer things an offense can do. Get the ball out to the receiver as fast as possible, hope he's got man-to-man coverage, and hope that his athleticism wins on the perimeter.
From the gun on 3rd, Watson. And he's got the completion to Hopkins. And he gets this one to midfield before he's brought down. 15 yards, the Texans pick up the first down. That catch for his career is number 589, so 11 away from 600, but it also right now ties him with Hall of Famer Fred Biletnikoff.
And we remember Fred Biletnikoff well because of the way he went about his business in catching the football. And we're seeing something similar here. Someone who runs precise routes, has excellent hands, and knows how to get the ball to the end zone.
You don't see that a ton, do you? A cornerback coming over to the middle of the field to make a run tackle.
That's someone with a ton of confidence to feel like nothing is pressuring him on his side of the field. Sees that the ball is moved to the middle and just sprints over there to help out. He ends up getting the tackle. Well played.
And he'll be out just a yard or two shy of the 30. Deshaun Watson, so multi-dimensional, able to scramble for the first.
Well, that was man coverage. So once he decides to run with the football, there's no one to account for him, and he turns it into a nice gain.
From the 32 now, here's 1st and 10. Now it's Watson. And he's going to go down. They get to him back at the 40. Jeffrey Simmons able to record his 5th sack of the season. They were able to win last week despite him being sacked 4 times. They might need to tighten the reins a little bit, or this one may not end in another victory.
You're right about that. They can't count on just winning the game no matter what happens. They can't let the accumulation of hits and harassment in the pocket get to their quarterback. Got to stop that. Give him clean lanes to throw the football in order to have a better chance to win again this week.
They try to throw on 2nd down, but this one is incomplete. 7th play of this drive coming up, but a long way to go on 3rd down. The 7 yards on the carry there, but now they're staring at 4th down.
Anytime the offense shows what they call a shot play or a chunk play where they're trying to get big yardage, sometimes people just call it gadget plays, and you hold it to a gain that we just saw there, you feel pretty good about yourself as a defense.
No one attempted or made more field goals than Fairbairn last year. He was 37 of 42.
And they were grateful for every one of those that put 3 points on the board. I'll guarantee you Bill O'Brien, the head coach, is thinking to himself, we need to use them a lot less in 2019. Let's make sure we score some more touchdowns.
Let's go, baby.
And the Titans getting set to go. They've had it twice. They've punted twice. Not the start they were hoping for.
Not at all, and let's face it, every facility we visit, everyone talks about converting on 3rd down, how big that is. In this situation, they've had to punt it away twice, so they're furiously going over things on the sidelines. What do we need to do to pick up a 1st down and change our momentum?
The numbers on the ground for Henry last week. 18 carries, 120 yards even.
And well-liked by his teammates. In fact, I got on good authority, even though I'm not an investigative reporter, that in their team meeting this week, the offensive line stood up and said, Coach, we've got to have better yardage for this guy. He's number 9 in the league. He's got to be in the top 3 before the season's over. Let's run the ball.
A gain of 3 last play. This time they double it and pick up 6.
I know most of the time when the ball's in the air, you're thinking wide receiver, tight end, but running backs, they can be a big part of any passing offense nowadays.
False start, offense.
So that'll back them up 5. Well, that's a tough, costly penalty because now it makes it 3rd and 6 after the false start. From the gun, Mariota. He finds Humphreys. First time these two have hooked up this afternoon, and it's a 1st down. Try to get one more in here before the quarter breaks. Ready for the 2nd quarter from Tennessee, and it's the homestanding Titans in possession as they've got it with a 1st and 10. From the 34 now, here's 1st and 10. From the shotgun, it's Mariota. And his throw's going to be incomplete. The intended receiver, Taywan Taylor. And that'll bring up 2nd down. Looked like he had a couple of different options as far as who to throw to on that play. And who am I to say this, but I'm not sure he made the right decision.
Well, the window of opportunity is always going to be small in the NFL. That's why those quarterbacks who make quick decisions and have quick releases have the most success in this league.
And he'll be taken down, but not before he gets into enemy territory. 19 yards to pick up there. Move the chains. This offense finding its legs now. Here's another 1st and 10. Mariota again. And incomplete. You and I watched film yesterday, and you told me to watch his feet. Well, for whatever reason, his footwork just looked off on that throw.
And you always love it when an ex-defensive back talks quarterback mechanics, right?
Well, but you're good at it.
Well, I try, all right? I don't know how good I am, but it doesn't take much to tell. His mechanics are off a little bit, exactly what you described. Footwork, that led to the incompletion.
A nice job to get 8 there after the incompletion, and now they'll look at a 3rd and 2 coming up.
Even though they gave up more than they wanted to on that play, it actually illustrates how well they bottled him up throughout the game because that was his longest run of this contest.
Here's Mariota, and that is incomplete. Well, the other day they told us when we've got 3rd and 5 or less, we have to be able to convert. And I guess every team would say that, Charles, but an opportunity missed there.
What they were trying to tell us is they believe it's a matchup game at that point. And they liked some matchups that they had, thought they could exploit them, unable to do so on that play.
4th down, Mariota. He gets it to Humphries. And he gets it to the 32, good enough for a first down. And the drive stays in motion with a nice 8-yard pickup on 4th. And that's what you've got your tough little slot receiver for, isn't it? Right there, those 4th down conversions in the middle of the field.
He knows that's where he has to make his living, and that's where he has to make...
Trying to force it to his tight end, Walker, and it's intercepted. Picked off at the 14, and he's going to return it to the 21-yard line.
Yeah, he's just trying to throw this ball into the hole in the zone, but those windows can open and close quickly, especially in the middle of the field. So if the timing's not right, we'll see interceptions like that one right there.
Watson will bring up the Texans here, 1st and 10 at their own 21. After the interception, here's Watson. The catch made by Hopkins. And he's going to be taken down here with a penalty flag on the field.
Offense.
That's on the first-round pick, number 23 overall, Titus Howard. The Texans offense ready to go here for their next drive. And fortunate to get points on the board last time. They had to hit a really long field goal to do so.
The kickers in today's game are so good and so skilled and hit from distances that we almost start to take them for granted, and we can't do that. That's a long field goal that they got 3 points out of. They've got to feel good about that, and they better make sure they load him up because he's helped them out.
Yeah, now we'll see if that offense can put 6 on the board here. We'll see. They'll tussle for it, and this is going to be caught. That one covers 24 yards. It's a first down. And he's top 5 in the league in terms of receiving yardage because of plays like that. What have you seen from him on film that you like so much?
Well, I'll strip away everything else and get to what we call the moment of truth. When the ball's arriving and there's a defender there, he just comes down with the ball. He competes and takes it away. Great hands, great ability to finish the catch.
Give him 10 that time, escaping the danger, running with it, and picking up a first down.
That was an excellent job of recognizing the situation. His first read wasn't there. Heck, his second read wasn't there. But he bought himself a little extra time scrambling out of the pocket, got to the sticks, and picked up the first down.
Watson going to pull back the handoff and keep it himself. Under pressure, and he will go down. Sacked back at the 46.
Now, that was just absolute perfect man coverage. Nowhere for them to go with the football. Led to a sack. That's really difficult to do in today's NFL with all these gazelles running around that you're trying to cover in the secondary.
After the sack on first down, Watson incomplete, but a penalty flag is down in the backfield. Let's get the call. So apparently some grabbing there in the middle of the O-line.
I've often wondered why that doesn't happen more often for guys that play center. Having to snap the ball and then trying to get your hands into the proper position, that's difficult to do. He got caught that time.
Now this one over the middle into the hands of his tight end, complete. And down he goes at the 45 after a pickup of 9.
Let's not quibble about the gain there on second down. That was a positive play because that was a take-what-you-can-get situation. Got out to the tight end. Now it gives him a much better opportunity to convert on third down.
Throwing on third down, Watson. And Thomas has it. And he's going to have another first down as the tackle's made at the Titans' 31-yard line.
And the game just keeps evolving. Big guys running those corner routes, so difficult to cover.
Watson now 8 of 11 in this first half. He's got it 1st and 10. On first down, nothing opening up really on the running play. Give him maybe a yard, and it'll be second down.
They tried a quick hitter inside, but that one was swallowed up because what they're hoping, those big defensive linemen will take the bait and move laterally and open up a crease that they can run through. Didn't happen on that play.
On on 2nd and 9. Watson, 6 yards is the pickup, and that'll lead to a 3rd down. The Texans on 3rd down. They've converted 3 out of 5 thus far. Here it's 3rd and 3. Out of the gun, Watson. It's complete to Hopkins. And he picks up the 1st down yardage as he takes this one down to the 15. They go back to the ground with Johnson. And nowhere to run on the interior of that defensive line. He'll get back only to the line of scrimmage. So after the run for no gain, here's 2nd and 10. From the gun, here's Watson. His throw incomplete. Kenny Stills the intended receiver, and it'll bring up 3rd down.
But there's no trace of nervousness there. He was able to diagnose that play from his linebacker position, stay in excellent coverage, and bat the ball away.
The Texans on 3rd down. They've converted 4 times out of 6. Not bad. This is 3rd and 10. Here's Watson. It's complete to Fuller. They'll get 10 there, but it leaves them just short for 4th down.
So much about offense is what you call hidden yardage. You know, you throw the ball to someone, they catch it, and then they can make a big play. You know, they create a play, run after catch. They did.
And the holder's going to keep it. He's going to try to run for it. The fake field goal catches everyone by surprise. And the Texans push further out in front. And a special play there by the special teams. It's one thing to fake it. He ran it in for the score.
I think the special teams coach saw something on film in preparation for this game, told the head coach now's the time. He got the green light, and they worked it to perfection.
Extra point by Fairbairn, up and good. And the lead grows to 10-0. So after the touchdown, here's Fairbairn now to kick it away. And this will not be returnable. It's out of the back of the end zone for a touchback. And as this offense makes their way back out, NFC playoff race time, we give you a look at what's going on there. And it's right about this time of year you start to say this is when the cream rises to the top. Week 15, 3 weeks left to go, but still plenty to be determined.
And I think for most teams, the obvious is to try and be the number 1 or number 2 seed. But when you look at it across the league and throughout the history of trying to get to the Super Bowl, the teams you really fear are the ones that get hot and sometimes sneak in at a 5 or a 6 seed, because we've seen those teams actually get to the Super Bowl and occasionally win it.
Yeah, you think of the Giants a couple of times. Steelers have done it. You're right. It has happened and will happen more in the future, I'm sure. So here's a 1st and 10 at the 38. They'll run with Henry. It's a 7-yard carry to set them up with a 2nd and 3.
Well, no matter how they phrase it, staying on schedule, staying ahead of the sticks, whatever you want to call it, 7 yards on 1st down, that fits the bill.
From the 45 on 2nd down, Mariota. And Walker has it. And he's able to get this one out closer to midfield across the 45.
Well, they're unable to convert that into much, but it's never a bad idea to try to get the ball into a tight end of his caliber's hands and see what kind of disruption he can cause.
Now throwing on 3rd down there, but he cannot connect. So a couple of 1st downs on this drive, but it's looking like another empty possession.
And those empty possessions are certainly starting to pile up. So the adjustments that teams talk about all the time have to be taking place. They've got to analyze what's breaking down and figure a way to fix it.
The Texans offense ready to go here for their next drive. And they're hoping to redo their efforts in the last drive when they got to the end zone.
And just think of what it's like now on the sideline, because when you score a touchdown, you have to go over and look at the tablet and see what you did on the last drive. When you scored points, it's a whole lot better view than when you're trying to figure out how to fix things there.
A big hitter to start the drive has him up near midfield here for 1st and 10.
Well, no matter how they phrase it, staying on schedule, staying ahead of the sticks, whatever you want to call it, 7 yards on 1st down, that fits the bill.
We've hit the 2-minute mark of the first half. 10-0, our score. And we'll remind you that coming up at halftime, we'll join Jonathan Coachman and the gang in Orlando. Coach will have stats and scores from the early games going on here around the NFL. They're going to be stopped up on this first down run. He might have gotten back to the line of scrimmage, but that's it. Throwing on second down. Watson and Stills bringing it in. And he'll be down at the 46. So they go from 146 to the other on a pickup of 8. Second down pass play got him 8 yards. Now they've got a third and a couple remaining. Back to throw, Watson. That's incomplete, but there is a flag down. So hang on. A big call coming on third down. So apparently some grabbing of the jersey there on the O-line.
Yeah, just look in the interior, and that's where the penalty occurred.
And this third down looking very tough after the holding penalty. Third and long.
Watch the safety creep. Bang, 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 bang.
A shotgun snap for Watson. He rifles one that's intercepted. Picked by Kevin Byard. And the return this time will go out to the 42-yard line. Of course, they have the option, and they choose to not take the penalty.
They like the results of the play that they just ran, and they elect to let them stand.
Mariota to Lewis on the draw. And he's dropped right at the 40. Gain of 3. The Titans going to use the first of their timeouts as they'll stop it with exactly a minute to go before halftime.
They tried a quick hitter inside, but that one was swallowed up because what they're hoping, those big defensive linemen will take the bait and move laterally and open up a crease that they can run through. Didn't happen on that play.
A draw play here, Lewis. And all this Texans defense, they're all charged up now. They stop him behind the line for the second straight play. Third and 11. And some extra depth to the secondary here. They're in the dime. Working out of the gun, Mariota. It's caught, Humphreys. And he gets this only to the 41. Not near enough for the first. 2 yards is all they'll get on the completion. It's fourth down.
One hallmark of good defenses is understanding the game, understanding positioning, and tackling immediately in the secondary after catches. I think we just saw that on display right there.
Got to him before he ever had a chance to think about turning it upfield. The Texans offense ready to go here for their next drive. Time here for likely a couple plays if they want it, but with the field position what it is, maybe better suited to just sit on this one?
I'm with you totally. I would sit on it and get into the locker room and start over. But if they do decide to try and make a play, we know what the basics are. You run draw, you run screen. I would maybe run a little swing pass and try and get my lineman out in space and see if they can chop a hole into the secondary and see if he can run a little bit.
Okay, Brandon, time for a sprint to the finish, as it's time to get you caught up with what's happening around the NFL here in a pivotal Week 15.
Due to time constraints, we move you forward in today's broadcast to the beginning of the third quarter. It's the Texans in front, and they're going to get the football first as we are back underway in the third quarter. This will be fielded at the 6. And a good return as he'll be stopped just shy of the 30-yard line. And we focus on Lamar Miller as he heads back out there and gets set to go again on offense. And he's closing in on that number that all running backs circled beginning of the year, the number 1,000. Could do it on this drive.
And you have to think to yourself, at this moment, getting to this spot, it started in the offseason, right? Not just the workouts, right? Not just getting yourself physically prepared to play, but mentally, as well as your team, as well as your unit, head coach, offensive coordinator. We run the football. We give you opportunities. He's taking advantage of it.
And when you get this close to the mark, you just hope things don't tighten up, right? You probably want to get there and get it in your rearview mirror.
You really do, don't you? Because now it becomes predominant, and you wonder about play calling as well. Do you want to call plays to get that out of the way, or are you still calling plays to win the game first? That becomes the burden of the play caller.
An incomplete pass on that last play, and that means they'll need to come up with something here on third down. And now the third down throw incomplete as well. So good work there on the defensive side for the first drive of the second half.
Yeah, and until their offense can get into rhythm, their defensive players and staff have got to say to themselves, we've got to make it work. We've got to stand in here and make sure nothing else happens until our guys start moving the ball.
And for an offense that is struggling, this is not where you want to start from. Great punt.
Fantastic punt. And for all those who wonder, what do punters do during the course of practice each and every day? The best ones do what we just saw there.
And they get to Mariota here as he's dropped on the sack. Whitney merciless in there to get him. And on the season now, that is 9 sacks for him.
I think most quarterbacks would love to have the goal line actually extend up into the air and turn into a wall. They can put their back against it and know exactly where they are on the field so they don't end up in the end zone. Didn't do it on that play, but perilously close to the goal line.
All that gets him is just a yard, and now it's third down.
Nice job there defensively. A great time to dial up a blitz.
And give him credit under center instead of throwing it away. Actually, a pretty good job of getting past the line of scrimmage, not losing yardage. It'll be a gain of 7, but I'd imagine we'll see the punt team here on fourth down.
Well, they got off the field on third down. An excellent job, an excellent defensive series. We always talk about adjustments, and usually only at halftime. But the best teams adjust series to series. And on that series, they adjusted so well that they got the job done in fine style.
A 48-yard punt, 7 on the return. And possession will switch hands, 1st and 10. Coming up later tonight, Sunday Night Football, a good one in SoCal. The Vikings and the Chargers from Dignity Health Sports Park. Coverage at 8:20 Eastern, 5:20 Pacific on EA Sports. Now the pass hauled in by Kenny Stills. A good pickup there, 8 yards on the first down completion.
I always laugh when people say, what's the toughest route to defend? And I'm like, any of them, especially if it's a good receiver. That makes things very difficult. But when you're running a drag route, something short, shallow, going through defenders, using guys almost as screens in order to get open, that makes things tough for guys trying to get to the football.
Back-to-back good plays have them on the move on first down. This is Miller. A pickup of about 3 yards as he's taken down at the 31.
Third quarter and you've got the lead. You're not ready to go into that 4-minute offense to close the game out, but a running game can really benefit your team right now.
From the 31, Watson under a heavy rush, and down he goes.
Well, that play was the very definition of fast, quick, and in a hurry. Suddenly, he was there.
In a blink of an eye, that happened fast, and a big sack. Following the sack, it's now 3rd and long for Watson and the Texans. On third down, Watson forced out to his left. He may try and run for this. And he's going to have another first down as the tackle's made at the Titans' 23.
We just saw a nice example of why teams often bring in baseball guys to teach quarterbacks how to slide in key situations. You want to protect your franchise guy. Make sure he doesn't get hurt. He did exactly that on that play. A perfect slide to avoid the big hit and pick up a first down.
Throwing on first down, but this one winds up to be incomplete. He was trying to get that one to Kenny Stills, and that'll bring up 2nd down. Once again, they'll go from the 23-yard line on 2nd and 10. Here's Johnson. He is taken down at the 21 after a short gain of 2.
Sometimes you're aligned perfectly and the play comes to you, and sometimes you got to cover some ground to go make the play, as we just saw there.
We saw a great example of perseverance right there on that play.
Got to be careful. They might want to throw one over his.
And got his man. It's caught. Touchdown, Houston. Kiki QT, his third touchdown now on the year. And the Texans push further out in front. Still plenty of time left in the game, but now starting to pull away a little bit. Get some breathing room with that one.
And I don't want people to think that NFL locker rooms are cookie cutter, that everyone's saying the exact same thing in every situation. But I do know that all 32 teams have an emphasis on starting fast. Game, second half, no matter what. Whether it's first 5 minutes, first 3, whatever. This was a big score to start the second half.
So after the touchdown, here's Fairbairn now to kick it away. And that'll carry over the back line of the end zone for a touchback. And here comes Tennessee as they get set to take the field. These guys had to punt their last possession, and that's become too familiar of a refrain. Too many of these drives just wound up going nowhere.
But you know how in baseball, when the pitcher gets a base hit and he's on base, they bring his jacket out to him to keep him warm? A lot of times the punter...
And he fires one that's intercepted. Picked off around the 41. And the return here will go to the 31-yard line. And he may want to track down that football because that's interception number 1 on his career.
You're saying that's going into the trophy case?
I'd put it there.
Yeah, no doubt about it. That's when you ask the equipment guys to make sure they hold it for you after the game. But if you play in the back 7 on deep...
And down he goes. They sack him back right around the 41-yard line. Cameron Wake in there to get him. Sack number 14 for him on the year.
The amount of sacks that they've absorbed in this game is absolutely extraordinary. Let's just face it. This offensive line, flat out, cannot handle this pass rush. It's been demonstrated time and time again.
Steps away to his left. This one brought in by the 6'5" tight end Waring. 4 yards on the completion, and it sets up a third down.
And, partner, I think that was a great example that not all tight ends are created equal. Because everything was right. Got the completion, but he's not one of the more dynamic guys in the league. So even though he caught it, couldn't turn it into much more.
Now a third down throw, but it misses the target, incomplete.
Third down is the down. Both sides know they absolutely have to win. And the name of the game for the defense is pressure on the quarterback. But pressure on the quarterback with contact, that's how you end up winning it.
They got the interception, but very little movement after, and that forces them to settle for 3. And it does feel like settling when that happens, doesn't it?
It certainly does, but we got to give a lot of credit where it's due, and that's to the defense because they ran onto the field. It's what we call sudden change, right? Interception, you got to go put out the fire, and they did, holding them to a field goal.
And here comes Tennessee as they get set to take the field. They're in a bit of a bind, a pretty big bind, down 20-0 as they start here on 1st and 10.
Check 50.
They go back to the air here after the INT on the last drive. And his throw here's incomplete. He was trying to get it to Taywan Taylor, but it's going to be second down.
And that's one he's got to be happy to have back. There wasn't a hole open in the zone.
You'd have to think on early downs like that first down there, need to be a little bit more careful.
Yeah, fortunately for him, got a couple more downs to play with.
An incomplete pass leads to 2nd and 10 from the 25. Mariota gives to Henry. And he'll wind up with about 6 up past the 30 to the 31.
Getting had a ton of success here so far, but you get the feeling that he might be on the verge of popping one.
Yeah, even on that one, there was a little bit of a hole, but it closed there quickly at the end. These guys have punted 4 times already, and they're staring at a 5th, barring a conversion here on 3rd down. Mariota. Complete. It's Henry. And he'll lose yardage here, going down back at the 28. 4th down now after a loss of 2. Really good defensive effort. They were all over that little swing pass out to the right side before lost yardage.
Terrific read. Better execution, and done with a lot of enthusiasm, wasn't it?
Absolutely.
They saw it all the way, ran to the football, and caused a nice play for lost yardage.
A big kick that time, 52 yards. And the offense will take over with a new set of downs. Deshaun Watson of the Texans offense trot back out there. He's played well. Good first half. He's continued that here in the 3rd quarter. But my question, when you're a head coach, what do you look at stat line-wise for your play? Do you go right to turnovers?
You really do. As much as that, That's where it starts. When I played in college, our first rule for every game, the team making the fewest mistakes will win. And that's kind of how they judge you. Do you take care of the ball, not turn it over, keep it in the proper hands, and give your team a chance to win?
Well, that's what he's done here in this one so far. On the jet sweep, here comes Fuller. 7 yards on the pickup there, and it'll leave him with a 2nd and 3.
They're trying to show that they can run the ball and protect this lead. Give it to the backs, play a little bit of keep away, don't you think?
And that's probably a good philosophy at this point, going to make that defense stand up and stop him. And he'll get up to the 43-yard line. 4 yards the pickup, 1st down.
So many teams want to throw the ball in this situation nowadays, but I love watching a team that has enough confidence to go ahead and run the football in that situation. It's almost a tendency breaker.
On 1st and 10, Watson rolling to his left. And he'll avoid the tackle there with a slide. He'll get 5 out of the scramble. It's 2nd down. On 2nd down, Johnson. They follow up the gain of 5 by only getting 1 there on 2nd down.
What a luxury to have a guy like this who can not only spell your starter, but can come in and keep drives going.
From the gun on 3rd, Watson. And he finds Stills, complete. And he's going to have another 1st down as the tackle's made at the Titans' 31-yard line.
I don't care how many times we see it, I still get a kick out of watching quarterbacks and receivers do the pass tree in pregame warm-up. But I always remember that when we go to practices, we see that after practices as well. They really tune it up, don't they?
They tune it up. They know why they do it for these situations. 1st down.
And they build that trust, and that's why they're able to find him in this type of a situation.
Back now in Nashville. It's the Texans in control of the football and leading this game as well as we start the 4th. On 2nd and 11 now. Watson. It's complete. Stills. And they'll work it inside the 15-yard line before it's all said and done. 19 yards to pick up there. Move the chains. And defensively, they just don't seem to have much of an answer for this passing game.
Not at all. Look at the confidence that's exhibited here. With that type of a lead, clock on their side, instead of running it, they're still throwing it, trying to pick up 1st downs and keeping the football.
And he'll fight his way down right around the 12. Bringing him down defensively, Jayon Brown. They stay on the ground. This time it's Johnson. And he'll be brought down here at the 3-yard line. It appears he'll be a few inches short, so 9 yards on the gain officially, and it'll be 3rd down. Lots of praise on this drive, obviously. I know you're seeing what I'm seeing. Those guys up front, they're getting it done.
Doesn't matter what play is called. They are handling their business at the line of scrimmage and dominating right now on this drive.
Just a yard, but that's all they needed, and by the slimmest of margins, it'll be 1st and goal. After the run, Watson going to throw. That's caught. It's Thomas. And he's in. Touchdown, Houston. A 2-yard touchdown grab. And the Texans push further out in front. 2nd and goal from the 1. Watson. And that is caught. Touchdown, Texans. Kahale Waring, his 2nd touchdown on the season. And the Texans push further out in front. They had the lead in the 4th, but still passing. Finding the big target for the touchdown. Now that lead grows even more.
Everybody gets to join in the fun. You know, it doesn't have to just be the wide receivers catching touchdowns. Down passes. The tight end doesn't just have to do just the dirty work inside. He gets a chance to get into the end zone as well.
So after the touchdown, here's Fairbairn now to kick it away. This is taken at his 4. Solid return, pretty good field position. They'll start at the 32-yard line. Tennessee offense making their way out onto the field as you take a look at the playoff race in the AFC. Tennessee offense about set and ready to go. And let's face it, this drive is not going to have any bearing on this game, but it's kind of important for one reason, isn't it?
It certainly is. You got to get points. And okay, all right, I'm being facetious here, but you get points, you feel a little bit better about yourself as you move on to the next one.
Here's 2nd and 10 now from about the 32. To throw is Mariota. And they get to Mariota here as he's dropped on the sack. Carlos Watkins. It'll go as a loss of about 8 as he gets in there to drop him. Mariota will need a big play after the sack as the Titans come up 3rd and long. Mariota now. And this is going to be incomplete. Just nothing there again. He's been sacked multiple times. We've seen the interceptions, of course. He's really been through the ringer, hasn't he?
And what we've seen is a defense that's well coordinated. The front and the back really in sync. The front putting on the pressure. The backside being ball hawks and picking passes off.
They're already slim hopes are going to ride on this one. They'll go on 4th down.
Let's go. Calm the crowd. Hey, come on out here. Come on.
They'll run for it with Henry. And this is going to come up well short as they stop him on 4th down. Now after the play, it looks like there's a Texan here slow to get up. Well, he gets attended to. We'll step aside. Here's Madison running on 1st down. And running room scarce here. He's going to be stopped in his tracks at the line of scrimmage. Call it no gain on the play, and it'll be 2nd down. Officially nothing on that last run. They'll try again 2nd and 10. Going to run with Madison again. And an alley to run. And inside the 20 before he's brought down. 12 yards there and a 1st down.
Well, partner, I know this type of running back. I mean, this size, this intensity usually gets better as the game goes on. I can just tell you from experience, the first few quarters, oh, you're eager. You come running up there. I'm going to tackle this guy. By the 4th quarter, you're coming up and thinking about it.
And D-line wearing down 4th quarter. Yeah, that's not a guy they want to see consistently.
And this is why aggressive defensive coordinators love to blitz. It wreaks havoc because they end up taking their attention to the blitzers, freed up the D-lineman to make the play.
Now a 2nd down throw for the end zone, but it's incomplete. Chad Hansen, the intended receiver, and it's 3rd down. After an incomplete pass on 2nd down, that'll leave him trying to convert on 3rd and 9. A.J. McCarron looking to throw toward the end zone, but that's going to wind up incomplete.
Not only was the call spot on, how about the execution of that defense right there? The zone was absolutely locked up tight. He was trying to force it in there on 3rd down.
But if there's a time to force it, he felt like he needed to make a play, right?
Yeah, exactly right. 3rd down, you got to try and find something. There's nothing available there for him.
So it's 3 more points, and that widens this thing out even further here in the 4th.
And you know in this league, you can never have enough points, but this widens it out, as you said, and now it's all about ball control, isn't it?
And he'll get across the 20 before he's brought down at about the 23-yard line. Tennessee offense making their way out onto the field as you take a look at the playoff race in the AFC. And on that last drive, went for it on 4th, turned it over. But good job by their defense, though. They held them to 3, but this offense, they've got to be a little bit better, a little bit more careful here.
And sometimes when you see these calls on 4th down, when they decide to go for it, it's not necessarily the coach saying, I believe in my offense. Sometimes the coach saying, I believe in my defense. I can afford to go for it here, because if we don't get it, I don't think we'll give up more than 3, and that's exactly what happened.
You think that factored in?
I do. I think that he had that in his mind going into the game, that I'm going to be aggressive on offense because I know I've got a defense that can hold up their end.
Throwing again. Mariota on 2nd and 10. It's caught by Davis. And they get him down, but not before he takes it across the 40-yard line. That one good for a first down pickup of 18 yards.
That was a nicely run slant route, and what the receiver's trying to do is make the defender think he's going upfield for a deeper route, and then breaks it off, usually after about 3 to 4 steps, and cuts towards the middle of the field. And now what he's trying to do is use his body to keep the defender away from the football and give the quarterback a really nice target.
Here now is 2nd and 10, again from the 41. A second down pass play there, but it's incomplete. At this point, down big, you'd have to imagine this defense are just going to sit back, blanket the field as best they can.
Yeah, this is actually the easy part of the game for them because, just as you noted, they can sit back, keep everything in front of them. But they blanketed the field the entire game using a variety of coverages.
Now yet another incompletion here as they fail to connect on 3rd. Well, it just seems like all game long there hasn't been a lot of sync quarterback to wide receiver on this side of the football.
They haven't been on the same page, quarterback and receivers. Heck, they haven't been on the same grease board when you draw plays up. They haven't been on the same surface tablet that you look at on the sidelines. Nothing's worked for them. They've got to find a way to start matching each other's movements.
And as this offense makes their way back out, it's AFC playoff race time as we give you a look. And you can see they'll be the AFC South representative, but for the moment at least, they'd still need to host a wild card game in that first weekend. Not the worst thing in the world.
Not the worst thing in the world, but for the AFC South as a division, hoping that this will be the representative that wins that first round, because it's been a little while since that's happened, so they're hoping to actually use that game, get a win, and advance deeper into the playoffs. It's been a short run in recent seasons.
Now here's a throw right side, taken in by his tight end.
Holding offense.
So a decent gain, but all for naught on the penalty.
It's too bad, isn't it? They were feeling pretty good about it. The only people celebrating, the guys who just gave up that play.
Now they face a 2nd and long following the holding penalty. Now a pass, and it's complete to QT. Still throwing the football here, even with the big lead.
Yeah, I know you and I came up in a different era, and we think about sportsmanship and all that. Other people think about fantasy points and getting their numbers. That's all they care about right now.
Mike spot 4. You better bring it. You better.
They'll try to get it on the ground with Madison. And now the ball's out. Fumble near midfield. And that might be Titan football. It is.
We're going to shut you down.
The psychology of the game never ceases to amaze me because you would think there would never be a fumble from what we hear from coaches all the time, right?
After review of the play,
The Texans offense ready to go here for their next drive. And Charles, we are in the midst of a very one-sided affair. I think this is where you and I have to fill a little bit. You want to regale us with old stories of your childhood in New Paltz, New York?
I don't think anyone wants to hear that, but this is a perfect time for us to start listing MVP candidates, right? These teams we've seen so far this year, the best games that we've called thus far, how we anticipate the season unfolding. We can go in so many different directions because the game certainly not taking us there.
Oh, I hear the remotes clicking off right now.
Well, that was a unit that understood exactly where the first down marker was, handed it to their guy who could run it, created some space, and he got there.
A running play on first down, and it turns into a fight just to get back to the line of scrimmage. The big man, Jarrell Casey, in on the stop.
Any weapons?
And now they'll throw it with McCarron. Throwing over the middle, and it's incomplete.
Well, partner, so much for the mismatch. How about the guy at the second level, that big linebacker, able to run with the receiver and make a play on the football?
Throwing now is McCarron. And that is incomplete. Those passes out that far wide always make you hold your breath a little bit. Felt like it was in the air for a while.
What it does is allows a defender to gain some ground, come from a long distance, and have a chance to affect the pass.
And for an offense that is struggling, this is not where you want to start from. Great punt.
Fantastic punt. And for all those who wonder, what do punters do during the course of practice each and every day? The best ones do what we just saw there. work on positioning the football and helping their team.
And he is met in his tracks behind the line of scrimmage. It'll be a loss of a yard, and it'll be 2nd and 11. Just 2 minutes remaining here in the fourth quarter of what has been a one-sided affair. So the Titans in possession of the football here as we get you reset. And let's see what they've come up with offensively after having time to talk it over. On 2nd and 11 now. Mariota, and it's knocked away and incomplete. Batting that one free defensively was Lonnie Johnson. They'd like to avoid punting from their own end zone so they could use something here on 3rd down. Out of his end zone, Mariota. And the throw there going to be incomplete. Another wayward pass. You know, things started out poorly in this game, and to be frank, they just really haven't gotten much better.
And all that does is embolden a secondary. They feel good about what's going on, and they just play better and better.
A very good return there. Give him an even 20 yards. And the Texans with great field position to start this drive as they take over 1st and 10. Out comes the Houston offense as they get set to take over here. And a few kneel downs should just about do it. Now, defensively, they do have all 3 timeouts, but very little reason to use them at this point. They'll run it with Madison. 2 yards on the carry there. It'll be 2nd down.
Well, he was looking for some running room, and there wasn't a whole lot of it there on that play. I think he was lucky to get a couple of yards out of it. Because those defenders, they were rallying to the football pretty quickly.
Let's go! Get it!
And they'll take a knee as the clock runs under a minute to play. They'll need the 39 here for a first. This is 3rd down.
I'm coming after you! I'm coming after you!
And they take a knee. So Houston going to come away here with the victory. And I tell you what, Charles, this might be about as good as it gets. They were incredible.
Yeah, offense was in fine form. The defense threw the shutout at them. I think they worked in concert together. What I like about the offense was they held the ball pretty well. You know, time of possession, exactly what they were looking for in this one. And that helped out their defense. Didn't have to be out there the entire time. So when you do that and you're out there fresh playing, up a little extra spring in your step, and it showed up in this one.
They had a ton of spring in their step. Impressive victory. So for the Texans, they continue to roll as the win gets them to 12-2 on the year. And they'll get another road date next week as their opponents will be the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Meanwhile, for Tennessee, their slim playoff hopes are gone now as they fall to 5-9. And they'll get a chance to redeem themselves at home next week. So for our entire crew, alongside Charles Davis, I'm Brandon Gaudin. Thanks for watching, everybody. We'll see you next time.